Do you know what blasphemy is? Ultimately, the worst thing that you can possibly do is to blaspheme. To blaspheme is to show contempt for something. It's an intense despising of something or someone. And it's a resistance to the truth. If a person is trying to help you and then you just throw their advice off, and if it's true, you may suffer badly because they're trying to warn you. The warning in Scripture does not allow for anyone to change the name of the Creator. That's just outside the bounds of reason to do such a thing. And the odd thing is, the prefaces of the most popular translations explain that men's traditions are the reason why they expunged the name. They took it out and they put in a device. Changing the name of Yahuwah is blasphemy. Every pastor teaching delusions would remove themselves from their office or position if they received the Ruach HaKodesh, or the Spirit of Yahusha, to live inside them. If they would just obey His word, He would come to them. But He will not give His Spirit to the disobedient. Read Acts 5:32. Yahusha does not give His Spirit to the disobedient or hear their prayers. In fact, to pray to Him, if you read Proverbs 28 verse 9, and not obey His word, your prayer is an abomination. That's another word. If you're praying to Him and you're not obeying Him, it's an abomination to Him, for Him to hear you talk to Him. And it has been said that He doesn't even hear you because you won't obey Him. You don't have a relationship with Him. You have no place to ask anything of Him if you're not obeying Him. You're rather asking Him to obey you. And that is not even something that we would consider, unless it would be in His will and His purpose for you to ask something for you to do to serve Him. That would be fine. Every pastor teaching delusions would remove themselves immediately when they receive His Spirit. The Spirit of Yahusha, that's what the name of the Spirit is, Yahusha. He has a name. He's not a third person. He is the Creator, the Ruach HaKodesh. He shed His own blood to purchase us. That means the Spirit had blood. That's what Acts 20 verse 28 says. Yahuwah does not teach the alteration of His name. He does not teach the alteration of His word. Most people are feeding on the traditions of men, which is the alteration of Yahuwah's word. Oh, they refer to His word, but then they explain that you don't have to obey that word. That is wormwood. You could say hogwash, but Yahuwah calls it wormwood to alter His words. And one of His words is in the third commandment, and it involves His name. You do not cast the name of Yahuwah your Elohim to ruin. You don't throw that away. You don't even change it in any way. You don't change it into another word. And most prefaces will admit that they have taken His name out and put in a device to replace His name for the sake of men's traditions. Read your preface. And go ask your pastor why he teaches from such a book that has removed the name of the Creator. It's blasphemy. 1 Timothy warns us about listening to false doctrines that will shipwreck our belief. Teachers have turned aside from the truth, and they teach their own traditions instead of obedience. They teach you to disobey. They tell you that the law, the commandments, have been done away with. The only thing that's been done away with is the priesthood that offered animal blood. And animal blood is not offered anymore. It never will be for the forgiveness of sins. It never did. It never atoned. It just showed you the way to the true atonement, the permanent one, the one that was offered by our high priest, Melchizedek. Yes, Yahusha is Melchizedek. He's always been Melchizedek. There's not two of him. There's certainly not three. The philosophies of men use psychological programming to cause bitterness towards Yahuwah's commandments, and not bitterness towards sin. How do you know what sin is unless you know what the commandments are? And if you disobey the commandments, Yahusha does not even know you. That's what 1 Yehuchanan, or 1 John, chapter 2, verse 4 says. And chapter 3, verse 4 says, sin is lawlessness. It's not obedience. They call obedience legalism. Who are you listening to? Liars. The one that says, I know him, and does not obey his commandments is a liar. And the truth is not in that one. Yahusha can rescue you even if you're shipwrecked. There's no shipwreck that's too big for Yahusha. And they've been teaching you lies. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next exciting video. Bye.